Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, Honorable Governor, Justice P. Sathashivam, Distinguished Chief Minister of Kerala, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan, Professor P.J. Kurian, Deputy Chairman, Rajya Sabha, Acting Chief Justice of Kerala, Shri Thotathil Radhakrishnan, Leader of Opposition in the Kerala Assembly, Shri Ramesh Chennithala, Professor K.V. Thomas, Member of Parliament, Shri Uman Chandi, former Chief Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great joy and humility that I stand before you this evening to welcome the Honorable President of India for the 6th K.S. Rajamony Memorial Lecture. Sir, my family and I, as well as all others associated with the K.S. Rajamony Foundation, are deeply touched by this gesture on your part. There can be no honor greater to the memory of my father than the first citizen of India delivering this lecture and coming to Kochi for the purpose. I warmly welcome you on behalf of everyone gathered here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is well known that our President is one of the veteran political leaders of India. He has spent over 4 decades in the Parliament and held most of the important portfolios in the Union Cabinet. He has served under 4 Prime Ministers. He is known for his prodigious memory and often described as a walking encyclopedia, particularly on matters relating to politics, contemporary Indian politics, as well as Indian constitution and parliamentary practice. The President's debates and repartee, as well as public speaking skills, are also legendary. The human side to President Mukherjee is equally fascinating. President Mukherjee was born in a small village called Merathi in North Bengal. His father was a freedom fighter who spent a great deal of time in jail. As a child, he grew up in difficult circumstances. He had to learn using a lantern, and he speaks about how he had to walk miles to go to school, often in the rainy season, wading through ponds and paddy fields, taking off his uniform and books, not to get wet, carrying it on his head along with his books, and wading through these water bodies. President Mukherjee is a great lover of books. He started his career as a teacher in a small college in North Bengal, and he used to cycle to work. His passion for teaching became very evident then because he loved so much, teaching so much, that it was difficult to contain him. And his colleagues, other teachers, would petition the principal saying, please keep President Mukherjee's class the last one of the day so that his time doesn't encroach into our time. President Mukherjee is a spiritual man and an ardent devotee of Goddess Durga. He never misses doing the annual Durga Puja himself in his village and involving all the villagers in the festivities as part of it. President Mukherjee's self-discipline and commitment to work is also widely acclaimed. Just a small instance, after his late wife, Mrs. Suvrab Mukherjee, sadly passed away, President Mukherjee completed the cremation ceremony, said bye to Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, who was a family friend and who had specially come down to Delhi for the purpose. But the very same day evening, overcoming his personal grief, President Mukherjee was at his duty station in Rashtrapati Bhavan, receiving foreign heads of state and government who had come to Delhi for the meeting of India and Pacific Island nations. Ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed to have in our midst not just the first citizen of India, but a man of remarkable achievements and an outstanding human being. Sir, personally, it has been a great honor and privilege for me to work with you for almost 7 years in your capacity as Finance Minister first and then as President of India. I welcome you once again and express sincere gratitude on behalf of everybody gathered here for having agreed to deliver this lecture. Honorable Governor, Justice Sathashivam sir, I am very happy to welcome you. You are doubly qualified to be here presiding over this function, both as a very popular governor of our state as well as the former Chief Justice of India. It is my pleasure to also welcome our distinguished Chief Minister, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan. Sir, my father was very proud of his association with the left cultural movement of the state and his role in the founding of the KPAC. I welcome you to this gathering. Acting Chief Justice Shri Thotathil Radhakrishnan sir, you represent and head the institution to which my father devoted all his time and energy. I warmly welcome you to this evening. Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha, Professor P.J. Kurian, Leader of Opposition Shri Ramesh Chennithala, Professor K.V. Thomas, former Chief Minister Oommen Chandy, all are dignitaries who knew my father well and whom we consider close friends of our family. Professor Kurian used to represent Mavelikara in the parliament, and Shri Ramesh Chennithala comes from Mavelikara, which was my father's birthplace and his ancestral home. Shri Oommen Chandy inaugurated the 4th K.S. Rajamony Memorial Lecture as Chief Minister of Kerala, and Professor K.V. Thomas has attended all previous lectures. I extend a very hearty welcome to all these dignitaries. Sir, dignitaries, a galaxy of people from various walks of life, judges, members of parliament, MLAs, leaders of different political parties, scholars, intellectuals have gathered here in response to our invitation to hear the President deliver this lecture. This hall has a large number of young students from local colleges as well as universities. It also has the intellectual giants of Kerala like Professor M.K. Sanu and Dr. M. Leelavati, who are touching 90 this year. I extend a very warm welcome to everyone in the audience here. Let me conclude by saying that it is this city, this state and its people who have made all of us who are part of the K.S. Rajamony family what we are today. We are committed to pay back to this society and to our people in whatever manner possible through the activities of the K.S. Rajamony Foundation. Thank you very much.
My name is Leela Ganesh, and I am the daughter of late Shri K.S. Rajamony. My father was very actively engaged in his legal profession. At the same time, he found a lot of pleasure in involving himself in social, cultural, educational, and philanthropic activities. In order to carry forward his legacy, the family has set up the K.S. Rajamony Foundation with the focus on dissemination of knowledge. This 6th memorial lecture is also a continuation of our efforts to instill a spirit of inquiry in the current generation. The family would like to felicitate the members on the dais as a token of our appreciation for blessing this occasion with your gracious presence. Moving away from the tradition of handing over flower bouquets, we have decided to gift a live plant in keeping with the philosophy of greening the earth and preserving the ecological balance.
Today, we are here to remember a legal luminary who left the indelible mark in the legal realm of Kerala. Sri K.S. Rajamony, who was given great contribution to the field of law and mentored large number of lawyers during his career. As a lawyer, he was always believed that society is guilty if anyone suffers injustice. According to him, legal practicing is not a lucrative profession to earn money, but it is an ethical mission to shed the light of justice to the lives of millions who are sidelined and vulnerable and marginalized. Of course, he was a unique phenomenon who demonstrated great courage, values, ethics, and his entire legal profession. Making money by winning a case was not his professional motto. He thinks a lawyer should not be confined to the four walls of the courts. Rather, he believed that a lawyer has to play a much greater role in the society and to shape the society for the people of the country. He has etched his footprints as a member of editorial board of Kerala Law Reporter and a member of editorial committee of Kerala Law Times, and served as the legal advisor, standing counsel for various central and state governments, undertakings, banks, corporations, etc., etc. He always believed that when you are worked with a selfless devotion to the common man will think that lawyer as his God. That is the real service one lawyer can deliver to the society. This is a message Sri K.S. Rajamony has left for the generations to come. I express my deep gratitude to Mr. Venu Rajamony, who invited me for this August function, which gave me an opportunity to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Practice of eternal human values is needed to attain excellence in the management of human race, flora, fauna, and everything that belongs to our great nation. Well-disciplined, prompt, and efficient people who perform with pleasing manners and conduct are needed. Late K.S. Rajamony sir abundantly reflected these fundamental qualities. The justice delivery system is making all-out efforts to tide over the piling backlog and also to ensure that qualitative justice is delivered even at the doorsteps of every citizen by ensuring that access to justice is not denied on account of socio-economic or other challenges. Whatever we have now in the form of statute law in that regard were eminently reflected in the qualitative contribution of late Rajamony sir through his effective involvement in crafting the Lok Adalat movement and in providing free legal aid services to the poor. When I joined the Kerala High Court Bar as a junior, the towering personality of late Rajamony sir, with his qualitative legal thinking and courtcraft, influenced me. It is said that 1 minute of anger weakens your immune system for 4 to 5 hours, and 1 minute of laughing boosts your immune system for 24 hours. I never found Rajamony sir in any mood other than with the sweetness of a smile, which surpassed over other thoughts and expressed itself with gracious love for all around him. Don't educate your children to be rich, educate them to be happy, so that they know the values of things, not the price. The legacy left behind by Rajamony sir through his beloved children abundantly reflects that he surely practiced this and has ensured that his children continue to be beacons in the society. My most respectful pranams to late Rajamony sir, the erudite, multifaceted personality who tread this world with all positivity, with no hatred, and with abundant love for one and all. I look forward to the generation of lawyers, public men, academicians, and social activists to honor Rajamony sir by emulating him. Thank you. Jai Hind.
സഹോദരി സഹോദരന്മാർ, ബഹുമാന്യനായ രാഷ്ട്രപതി ഈ അനുസ്മരണ പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പരയിൽ KS രാജാമണി അനുസ്മരണ പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പരയിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുകയും അത്തരമൊരു വേദിയിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ കഴിയുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഒരു സന്തോഷമുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. ആ സന്തോഷം ആദ്യമേ തന്നെ രേഖപ്പെടുത്തട്ടെ. പാവപ്പെട്ടവർക്ക് സൗജന്യമായി നിയമസഹായങ്ങൾ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് ജസ്റ്റിസ് VR കൃഷ്ണയ്യരെ പോലുള്ളവരുടെ ഒപ്പം കേരളത്തിലെ ലോക് അദാലത്ത് പ്രസ്ഥാനത്തിന് വഴിതെളിച്ചുകൊണ്ടും നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തെ കൂടുതൽ നീതിനിഷ്ഠമാക്കുന്നതിനു വേണ്ടി അർപ്പണബോധത്തോടെ പ്രവർത്തിച്ച വ്യക്തിയാണ് ശ്രീ രാജാമണി. മറ്റുള്ളവർക്കുതകുക എന്നതാണ് സ്വന്തം ജീവിതത്തിൻ്റെ സാഫല്യം എന്ന ചിന്തയോടെ സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഉത്കർഷത്തിനു വേണ്ടി തൻ്റെ അറിവുകളും കഴിവുകളും അദ്ദേഹം സമർപ്പിക്കുകയാണ് ചെയ്തത്. കേരള സംസ്ഥാനം രൂപീകൃതമാകുന്ന സമയത്ത് തന്നെ പ്രമുഖ അഭിഭാഷകനായി അദ്ദേഹം പേര് സമ്പാദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞിരുന്നു. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ ആദ്യ ബാർ കൗൺസിൽ മെമ്പറായി നിയോഗിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. സുപ്രീം കോർട്ട് വീക്ക്ലി റിപ്പോർട്ടറിൻ്റെ ചീഫ് എഡിറ്റർ എന്ന നിലക്ക് അദ്ദേഹം സേവനം നടത്തിയിരുന്നു. അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ കേരള ലോ റിപ്പോർട്ടറിൻ്റെ എഡിറ്റോറിയൽ അംഗം എന്ന നിലക്കുമുള്ള അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ സേവനം സ്മരണീയമായതാണ്. തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തെയും കൊച്ചിയിലെയും ലോ കോളേജുകളിൽ വിസിറ്റിംഗ് ഫാക്കൽറ്റി എന്ന നിലയിൽ പിൽക്കാലത്തെ നിരവധി അഭിഭാഷകരെയും നിയമജ്ഞരെയും പരിശീലിപ്പിക്കാനും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് അവസരം ലഭിച്ചിരുന്നു. ഒരു അഭിഭാഷകൻ എന്ന രീതിയിലാണ് KS രാജാമണി തന്നെക്കുറിച്ച് ചിന്തിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. എന്നാൽ 20-ാം നൂറ്റാണ്ടിൻ്റെ 40, 50, 60 ദശകങ്ങളിൽ അദ്ദേഹം കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ സാമൂഹിക, രാഷ്ട്രീയ, സാംസ്കാരിക മേഖലകളിൽ ശ്രദ്ധേയമായ സാന്നിധ്യമായിരുന്നു. ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് സാഹിത്യം പഠിച്ച രാജാമണി കലയിലും സംസ്കാരത്തിലും പുരോഗമനപരമായ കാഴ്ചപ്പാടാണ് ഉയർത്തിപ്പിടിച്ചത്. അങ്ങനെ കലാ സാംസ്കാരിക രംഗങ്ങളിൽ വ്യാപരിച്ച അദ്ദേഹം ആ രംഗത്തും സ്വന്തം വ്യക്തിമുദ്ര പതിപ്പിച്ചു. നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തിന് രാജാമണി നൽകിയ സംഭാവനകളിൽ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടത് KPACയുടെ രൂപീകരണത്തിൽ അദ്ദേഹം വഹിച്ച പങ്കാണ്. കേരളത്തിൽ രാഷ്ട്രീയ പ്രബുദ്ധതയുടെ പ്രകാശം വിതറുന്നതിൽ ആ പ്രസ്ഥാനവും രാജാമണിയും വഹിച്ച പങ്ക് ചരിത്രത്തിൽ അടയാളപ്പെട്ട് കിടക്കുന്നു. തൻ്റെ ആത്മകഥയിൽ അഡ്വക്കേറ്റ് ജനാർദ്ദനക്കുറുപ്പ് KPACയുടെ ആദ്യ നാടകം തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തെ VJT ഹാളിൽ പ്രദർശിപ്പിക്കുവാൻ നേതൃത്വം നൽകിയ രാജാമണിയെക്കുറിച്ച് പ്രതിപാദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അതിനുണ്ടായ സാമ്പത്തിക ചെലവുകൾ പൂർണ്ണമായും വഹിച്ചത് രാജാമണിയായിരുന്നു. പിൽക്കാലത്ത് KPAC സുലോചന എന്നറിയപ്പെട്ട പ്രശസ്തയായ പാട്ടുകാരിയും അഭിനേത്രിയുമായിരുന്ന സുലോചനയെ KPACയിലേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവന്നതും രാജാമണിയായിരുന്നു. രാജാമണി നിരന്തരം സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഉന്നമനത്തിനു വേണ്ടി നിലകൊണ്ടു. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി ജീവിതത്തിലുടനീളം ഇടതുപക്ഷ പുരോഗമന പ്രസ്ഥാനങ്ങളോട് ചേർന്ന് നിൽക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. നിയമകാര്യങ്ങളിലെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കണിശതയും കൂർമ്മബുദ്ധിയും വിളിച്ചറിയിച്ച പ്രശസ്തമായ നിരവധി കേസുകളുണ്ട്. വിജയകരമായി വാദിച്ച് ജയിച്ച ശ്രദ്ധേയമായ ആ കേസുകളിലൂടെ രാജാമണി കേരളത്തിലെ ഒന്നാംകിട അഭിഭാഷകരുടെ നിരയിലേക്ക് ഉയർന്നു. അദ്ദേഹം മികച്ച പ്രാസംഗികനുമായിരുന്നു. ഇത്തരത്തിൽ പ്രതിഭാശാലിയായ ശ്രീ രാജാമണിയുടെ സ്മരണ നിലനിർത്താനുതകുന്ന ഈ പ്രഭാഷണ പരമ്പരയിൽ ആദരണീയനായ നമ്മുടെ രാഷ്ട്രപതി സംസാരിക്കുന്നു എന്നത് അങ്ങേയറ്റം ഔചിത്യമുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. KSR ഫൗണ്ടേഷനിലൂടെ രാജാമണിയുടെ കുടുംബം അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പാരമ്പര്യം മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകുന്നുവെന്നത് അഭിനന്ദനാർഹമാണ്. അവർക്ക് എല്ലാ ഭാവുകങ്ങളും നേരുന്നതോടൊപ്പം രാജാമണിയുടെ ആശയങ്ങൾക്കനുസൃതമായി പാവപ്പെട്ടവരുടെയും പാർശ്വവൽക്കരിക്കപ്പെട്ടവരുടെയും അധസ്ഥരുടെയും താൽപ്പര്യങ്ങൾ സംരക്ഷിക്കുന്ന പരിപാടികളുമായി മുന്നോട്ട് പോകാൻ കഴിയട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു. നന്ദി.
I'm very happy to address you all as we eagerly wait to hear our Honorable Rashtrapati Ji deliver the 6th KS Rajamony Memorial Lecture on India at 70. We are extremely fortunate to have the Honorable President of India to deliver this lecture, which in the past had been given by eminent persons like Justice V.R. Krishnaiyer, Justice K.T. Thomas, Sri Salman Khurshid, and others. The eminence of these speakers also signifies the contributions of the late K.S. Rajamony to various fields of activity. Though a lawyer by profession, the late K.S. Rajamony's interests and activities touched upon several areas including academics, art, culture, and social work. He also held many positions by virtue of his integrity and eminence in the legal profession. His services also extended to a lead role in the Bar Scouts and Guides, the School for the Blind, and in the foundation of Kerala People's Arts Club, the Flying Club, etc. I'm happy that the legacy left behind him is being carried forward by his family through the K.S. Rajamony Foundation. As we all know, through 7 decades of independence, India has established itself as an emerging power and as one of the fastest growing economies. We have just proved our strength in science and technology through the launching of a record 104 satellites in one go using our PSLV C-37. India rising to be the 3rd largest military power, the 6th in the race for space, 10th industrial power cannot be seen as a small achievement. Besides, in the employment sector, we are awaiting the positive effect of demographic dividend with the largest number of young people in the world. Undoubtedly, all this is due to the strength of our vibrant democracy. Yet, there are many areas where India has miles to go, not only in sustaining the development it has achieved, but also in ensuring the maturity of its democratic tradition, the qualitative strength of our education, the effectiveness of our healthcare services, and the goals we have set for the coming years also may deserve to be reviewed. I hope our Honorable Rashtrapati Ji would be touching upon these aspects in his learned lecture on India at 70. With these words, I invite our Honorable President of India to deliver the 6th K.S. Rajamony Memorial Lecture. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Good evening. The Honorable Governor, Justice P. Sadashivan, distinguished Chief Minister, Sri Pinari Vijayan, Professor P.J. Korean, Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha, Justice T.B. Radhakrishnan, Acting Chief Justice, Kerala High Court, Sri Ramesh Chennithala, Leader of the Opposition, Professor K.V. Thomas, Sri Omen Chandi, former Chief Minister, Sri Venu Rajamony, Press Secretary to the President, Sri R. Balchandran, Organizer, distinguished guests, family members of Sri K.S. Rajamony, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I am happy to have the opportunity to participate in this gathering on the occasion of the delivery of K.S. Rajamony Memorial Lecture. The speakers who took the podium before me have highlighted how eminently Sri K.S. Rajamony contributed not only to the legal profession to which he belonged, but also to the social activity and being a member of the Kerala Public Men's Inquiry Commission. A public-spirited personality as he was, naturally inspired people of his time, and I have no doubt will continue to inspire the generations to come, because a good idea, a noble mission is not confined to its time frame or to its geographical limitation. Kerala is a very prosperous state, particularly in the social indication. The state's impressive achievement in the field of literacy, education, health, gender equality, tourism and culture have truly attracted global acclamation. Similarly, both the bar and bench of Kerala High Court has also taken a very leading role in the establishment of rule of law and strengthening the legal framework provided by our Constitution. The subject which I have chosen to speak on this occasion is India at 70s. Today we are speaking on 2nd of March, just after 6 months, less than 6 months, on 15th August of this year, our freedom will complete 70 years. Naturally, when somebody speaks on this subject, it brings a comparative picture where we were when we attained independence, achieved it through long struggle of 190 years to make an end to the colonial rule, and what we have achieved during these 70 years. And also it provides us an opportunity to reflect where we are and what is our destination, what are the fault lines, and what appropriate action we should take. At the time of independence, and in fact the whole first half of the last century, India's economy grew at a rate of 0.0% to 1%. In these 7 decades, 50s, 60s, 70s, at the end of 70s, Indian economy grew at the rate of 3.9%. Once it was jokingly called Hindu growth rate. But in the 80s, we went up to 5.6%, 90s 6.7%, and in the last 15 years, out of 15 years, 13 years, Indian economy grew more than 7%, and as per the indication of the third quarter of the current year, it is sure to grow more than 7.5%. This has been achieved by the hard work of our workers and farmers being backed by the appropriate policy. In 1950, our population was 360 million. But we did not produce enough to feed our people. Total grain production in 1950 was 45 million. We had to depend on American food aid through PL 480. Almost our situation was like ship to mouth, even up to the late 60s. But today, there is no PL 480. There is no Aid Indian Consortium. There is no food aid. India produces enough to feed its people and also to export. It is expected this year our grain production will reach 272 million. Life expectancy at the time of independence was 31%, and today it is 68. Literacy was 18%, today it is 74. Per capita income was just little more than 7,000 in 1950. Today it is more than 77,000. And poverty ratio has come down from over 60% to below 25%. Today, India is not only the fastest growing advanced economy, but also third in the size of the economy as per purchasing power parity, 10th in the industrial power, 10th industrial power, 6th member of the space, and we have made some sort of record. Just 2 weeks ago, when ISRO set a world record launching 104 satellites into space at one go. Till now, no country has even to have this record. Our Mars expedition was in the very first attempt successful, which is a unique feature and the cheapest of this type of expedition all over the world. In the last 70 years, many tangible achievements have been made by the country in the field of the infrastructure of higher education. Right now, when we are talking before you, There are more than 756 universities which provide degrees, more than 36,000 colleges, large number of engineering and technical institutions, the third largest reservoir of the technically competent manpower. But at the same time, there are some fault lines which ought to be addressed by us. Since I assumed the office of the 13th President of the Republic, by virtue of the office I am the visitor of 124 central universities, and almost like a parrot, in every academic congregation, I pointed out, I appreciate the physical expansion of our educational infrastructure in the higher education, but where the quality has gone? How is it? Every year, more than several thousand students cross the sea to receive higher education abroad. But at one point of time there was world-class universities in India, starting from Takshashila in the 3rd century BC, where 4 civilizations confluenced: Chinese, Indian, Persians, Greek, to the 12th century AD when the Nalanda University collapsed. Universities are expected to attract the mighty minds in the forms of teachers and students. Each center of higher learning is expected to be the hub of intellectual exercises, free thinking, free exchange of views, free expression, which are essential to advance a nation. Can we put any curb of this thinking? Can we put any restriction? And if there be some aberration, is it not the responsibility of this society to correct that aberrations? Because when we adopted our constitutions, which was operationalized on 26 January 1950, that is the first act which the people of India gave it to itself. In the Constituent Assembly, they adopted, enacted and gave to themselves, people of India. No House of Commons, no charter from the King Emperor, no outcome of the commission appointed by our colonial masters, but the people of India, through their representatives, assembled in the Constituent Assembly of India, gave the constitution which provided guarantee to justice, social, economic and political. To achieve social justice requires not mere governance, but a recasting of mindsets and the transformation of the social ethos. That is just not the job of the government or of the legislature, but of the society as a whole. We declared ourselves as the sovereign democratic, socialist secular republic. We promised to constitute India into a sovereign, democratic, socialist, secular republic. What is meant by democracy? The ultimate goal of any democracy is the empowerment of the individual, irrespective of his economic, religious, or social standing. This may appear to be an utopian idea for many, but the strength of a system lies in the capacity to ceaselessly work for its achievement. The goal of political justice requires the continuous empowerment of marginalized sections of the society. We owe ourselves to create a system in which accession to politics is not limited to a privileged few, but an average Indian also feels empowered enough to contribute. And here we do feel. We have reasons to feel proud of that democracy has taken root in this country. In the last election, where more than out of 800 million voters, where more than 550 million electors exercised their voting rights and elected the parliament. We have wonderfully managed a highly diversified society. When we shut our eyes and look at India, we have 1.3 billion people. In our daily lives, we use 200 languages, 1,600 dialects, all major 7 religions practiced, all 3 major ethnic groups, Dravidians, Caucasians, Mongolites, in large number live in India, yet under one system, one flag, one constitution. It is because we have celebrated this diversity. We have never attempted to constrain it, to limit it. We did not make any attempt, or even if we made, it failed, to bring uniformity in place of diversity. Because diversity is essentially the strength of Indian culture. There is no doubt. As Dr. Amartya Sen in one of his books has said, Indians are naturally argumentative. I agree. Indians are argumentative, but not intolerant. If Indians are intolerant, India would not have remained in one country. There would have been balkanizations. Nobody could have prevented it. Therefore, what is needed is tolerance, acceptance of plurality, and respect for the core values of civilization. Once I very strongly expressed my views, and still I adhere to it. I cannot call a society civilized society if that society does not pay respect to its women. If women are brutalized, that society can never claim to be a civilized society. It is an uncivil society. And it is not merely the responsibility of the lawmakers or of the governments of the day to tackle these problems alone. It requires persons of public spirited like K.S. Rajamony and many others who have made their contribution. How the social reforms, how the social movement carried out in this country, and what is the inherent strength of our democratic polity. It is not only the constitution, but free press, active civil society, and also the participating democracy. And here we must, as I mentioned, that in every system there may be occasion when the fault lines develop. And if we ignore that, then our system will start crumbling. We find fault lines. Just a few moments back I mentioned about our pride in our parliamentary democracy. How the people exercise their freedom of choice. How the Independent Election Commission conducts these huge affairs, and they do not come from heaven. Election Commission essentially consists of the civil servants. But those civil servants, when they are entrusted with this responsibility, they can act as independently as necessary. Even the Prime Minister of the country, to submit his nomination paper, is to stand before a junior administrative officer to take oath to the Constitution of India. And that junior administrative officer, perhaps he can never enter into the room of the Prime Minister, would not show respect by standing before him. This is the beauty of the system we developed. If there is a fault line, we must correct it. Legislatures and parliament are meant for expressing the grievances of the people and legislate. The floor test cannot be converted into a muscle test. Elected members should have the right to express their opinion freely. Parliament's job is to make legislation. Parliament's job is to express the concerns, views and grievances of the people. And what has happened? Volumes of statistics are available. We find that in the first parliament, when our budget was extremely low, the first budget of India's independent India, revenue budget was just 293 crores of rupees. 226 crores, 297 crores. 226 crores were civil budget, 71 crores was military budget. Budget classifications was very simple. But the budget which Finance Minister has presented, which are yet to be fully approved by the Parliament, which will be done in the next leg of the parliamentary session, are more than 17 lakh crores of rupees. We have moved from less than 300 crores of rupees to 17 lakh crores of rupees. But are we doing justice? Are we analyzing the financial provisions in detail? Interested, informed debates are taking place on the floor of the House. How many days are disrupted? In democracy, as a student, I learned from my teacher Three Ds are essential: debate, dissension, and finally decision. Our system works on that principle. Policies will be debated. Dissent views will have to be heard. Finally, decisions are to be taken. And that is the job of the parliament. That is the job of the legislation. More than 41% time of the 15th Lok Sabha was wasted for disruptions. Is it not the fault line? Doesn't create lack of confidence in the system. Therefore, this is the time that we must create the atmosphere where every institutions, sometimes some phrases are being used, phrases like judicial activism. Our constitution have finely defined the activities of all three major organs: executive, legislature, judiciary. Judiciary is independent. Executive and legislatures, their relationships are very close. For every action, executive is responsible to the legislatures. But if these organs do not fulfill their jobs, then there comes the overlapping. Keeping that objective in view, our founding fathers, our forefathers observed. I am just quoting a few lines from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's observation. When he said, in the ultimate analysis, it is a manner of thinking, a manner of action, a manner of behavior to your neighbor and to your adversary and opponent, which will determine the future of the democracy which we would like to have. Dr. Ambedkar, the maker of the Constitution and chairman of the drafting committee, on the concluding days of the Constituent Assembly, he made a very passionate appeal. I would like to quote a few lines from his observations. I quote, "However good a constitution may be, it is sure to turn out bad because those who are called to work it happen to be bad lot. However bad a constitution may be, it may turn out to be good if those who are called to work it happen to be a good lot. The working of a constitution does not depend wholly upon the nature of the constitution. The constitution can provide only the organs of state, such as the legislature, executive and the judiciary. The factors on which the working of these organs of the state depend are the people and the political parties they will set up as their instruments to carry out their wishes and their policies. Will Indians place the country above their creed, or will they place creed above country? I do not know. But this much is certain, that if the parties place creed above country, our independence will be put in jeopardy a second time and probably be lost forever. This eventuality we must all resolutely guard against. He went on saying further, if we want to maintain democracy, not merely in form, but also in fact, what must we do? In the first thing, in my judgment, we must do is to hold fast to constitutional methods of achieving our social and economic objectives. It means we must abandon the bloody methods of revolution. But where constitutional methods are open, there can be no justification for these unconstitutional methods. These methods are nothing but the grammar of anarchy, and sooner they are abandoned, the better for us. Unquote. What Dr. Ambedkar said, what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said, are essentially that democracy as an institution, constitution as an instrument of governance, can deliver goods, provided the handler of these instruments are well intended. I would like to conclude my observations by quoting another very eminent personality. 9 years from today, after 9 years, United States of America will complete 250 years of the establishment of USA, United States of America. The first had the written constitution, and when that constitution was drafted, it is related to that. It took some time to draft the constitution, working out after conclusion of the deliberations of the Constitution Convention in 1787, a lady, Mrs. Pommel of Philadelphia, asked Dr. Benjamin Franklin, who was a member of the drafting committee, well, doctor, what have we got? A republic or a monarchy? Benjamin Franklin's answer was, Madam, a republic. If you can, keep it. We have got our democracy. People have expressed their faith and confidence in democracy. We, the political and social activists, have the tremendous responsibility to keep it, and perhaps that would be the most appropriate homage and respect to Sri K.S. Rajamony, and perhaps we will be appropriately able to convey the right message through this memorial lecture. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.
Printed on finely processed laminated paper resembling palm leaves. It contains the Adhyatma Ramayana with illustrations. And it's in honor I request Dr. Saroj Thapa Velu, daughter-in-law of K.S. Rajamony, to please hand over the